At some point in my life, I spent over $60,000 on luxury, mostly handbags, but other luxury purchases as well. And I want to be clear right away. This isn't a flex. This is not a regret video either. It's more of a reflection because that season of spending was deeply connected to who I was trying to become at that time, what I thought glowing up and living the soft life looked like, and what I was really looking for underneath all of that. So in my last video, I talked about how weight loss changed how easy my life felt as a result of it. This season of luxury happened around that same time. And that was yet another way that I was trying to level up in my life. So in this video, I want to talk honestly about what that season actually taught me about worth, influence, and how my relationship with luxury has matured as I've gotten older. When I look back at that season of my life, I don't see recklessness, even though some people wouldn't agree with me. I see access. For the first time, I had real disposable income. I felt financially stable. For the first time, luxury wasn't aspirational. It was really available to me, and that mattered. Luxury represented the arrival for me. It symbolized success, safety, and a sense that I had entered a chapter of adulthood. That season was closely tied to my relationship. I was newly married. I was trying to build a softer life with my husband together, feeling more supported enough to spend in a way that was different than what I had done before. I wasn't spending on credit, but I was spending impulsively during a season of growth and what I'll call expansion in my life. At that time, I felt like I was beginning my quote unquote soft life, like it was more permission to enjoy what I'd worked so hard for. And honestly, some of that enjoyment was real. On the surface, I was buying luxury items. Handbags were a big part of that, but they weren't the only thing that I was buying. Underneath it, I was buying something else. I was buying reassurance. I was buying a sense of arrival, as I mentioned. I was buying confirmation that I was doing life right and that I was entering my soft girl era. Luxury felt more like a reward, more like a marker of progress, and a way of saying that I had truly made it there, wherever there was. I still love luxury. I like quality. I appreciate craftsmanship, beautiful things, and the finer things in life. That hasn't changed at all. Some of the purchases still legitimately bring me joy, but over time, I started noticing something. That feeling didn't last as long as I thought it would. Not because the items weren't nice and aren't still nice, some of the ones that I still have, but because what I was actually seeking could not be satisfied by purchasing these things. That realization didn't come all at once, though. It unfolded gradually over time. Another piece I have to name is influence. During that season of my life, I was heavily influenced. I was consuming so much social media, y'all. Luxury content was everywhere during the pandemic. This was around that time. They were telling you what to buy, what was quote unquote timeless, what was worth it, what you needed. And I was consuming a lot of it at that time. I was still trying to figure out who I was in my stage of becoming a new wife, so that timing does matter. When you're in the season of trying to become, I feel like you're more impressionable than you realize. And I don't say that with shame, I say that with clarity. I was looking for cues and confirmation for a way to feel like I was anchored to this new identity. Not to make it sound too deep, but I was trying to figure it all out. Luxury content filled that gap in space for me. Living through that season changed how I relate to social media to this day. I'm more selective, I'm more intentional now, I'm less reactive to what I will see, and I have much higher discernment even around which creators and what type of content I look at. I ask different questions now before I run out and buy something, and I simply don't consume a lot of that content, the luxury content, haul content, and that's not to knock the creators that create that type of content. That awareness alone shifted my relationship with purchasing luxury. I no longer need a new handbag every other month. Like, I just simply don't There's nothing wrong with the handbags that I already have. As I moved into my late 30s and then turning 40 last year, my priorities started to change and shift over time. Not all at once, but they just started to become really clear. I started valuing becoming debt-free more than owning luxury items. That meant prioritizing paying off my student loans more aggressively than I had been before that. I started to think about assets rather than accumulating products and stuff. Since I was also a first-time home buyer at that time, I started to value stability, long-term security. I also became more honest about what I actually use and what I actually enjoy. I didn't need everything to be luxury, and I didn't want everything to be luxury. Having really solid, high-quality pieces that I love and pairing them with contemporary brands and non-luxury brands is okay too. And that balance feels honest to who I am now and who I'm trying to become. My worth is not tied to what I carry, what I wear, and what I own. Because of that, my choices feel more grounded. They really do. They're less influenced, and I will say that I am a work in progress, and that's something that I'm continuing to work on in therapy. I don't see it as a restriction. It's really maturity. I literally don't need everything to be luxury in your life. Looking back, I can see that I once equated luxury with a soft life, quote unquote. It was just really one of the ways that I was trying to show up in that soft life era of mine. My understanding of what the soft life is now has since matured, and I'm continuing to work on that. Now I feel less pressure, less like I need to prove anything, less like I need to chase something or someone's lifestyle. It looks like real discernment in what I consume and what I buy, making sure that my purchases align with my overall goals, that I am choosing what actually supports my peace and not adds to the insanity or detracts from my peace. Luxury can and is still very much a part of it, but a soft life is not about accumulation. It's more about intention. And that's something that I could have only learned by having gone through that season of life. Not necessarily something that I wish that I had avoided altogether. It's just a part of my story. And again, I do not regret that season of my life. I just understand it now more. And I think a lot of women are honestly navigating similar moments in their life right now or have navigated them in the past. And if you're buying things hoping that they're going to settle some internal conflict, it doesn't necessarily make you shallow or irresponsible. It just gives you more information and more insight. The question isn't whether luxury is good or bad. The question is what you're actually buying and why you're buying it. That kind of honesty is part of growing up and part of maturing. And like, no one should be ashamed of that. It's part of building a life that actually does feel easier, that does feel softer and more aligned to live through. It just is what it is. This channel is about reflecting on those types of shifts, the quiet ones, the ones that really shape us and our identities over time. And if what I shared about my experience resonates with you, I would love for you to stay and consider subscribing so you don't miss my weekly uploads. And thank you for watching my video. Bye.